Hi Gemini, this is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into here. This reading is going to be for April 22nd to April 28th. Just be aware that there's a full moon in Scorpio coming up on the 23rd. So if you're affected by the phases of the moon or if you're into astrology, definitely check out your favorite astrologers. Check your birth chart, check in with your sign, etc., just to see how that energy impacts you. This reading for this week is going to be a little bit more free-flowing. So, that being said, we're going to dive into some tarot first. I'll just channel straight through, like the messages that are coming through. We're going to pull some oracle cards, get into some angel dice, and then I'll send you on your way. So, that being said, as I'm shuffling, connect with the seat of your intuition so that you can determine which messages are for you, which ones are others. What's for our Gemini collective today? All right, so the focal point of your reading, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is about taking the seeds of your ideas and spreading them out onto different gardens and seeing what grows. Some of you could actually be gardening, at least in my part of the world. It is springtime, so those of you who love to garden, this might be indicating of that. But the Knight of Pentacles is taking your idea. It's almost like you're having a fresh start. I'm hearing fresh start for some of you. So it's like you are encountering a fresh start where you get to kind of throw out some ideas, try new things, and then you're going to see what grows. Some of you, like, it's coming through as ideas again. You have the Page of Swords and it's contrasting with the Five of Cups. Now, when these are parallel together, this tells me, first of all, that there's a flood of new ideas coming in, but I actually get like a lot of self-doubt, like you don't trust what's coming in, because it's almost like, well, I've tried things before and they didn't work out. Or it's almost like you have this belief or this mentality. It's almost like some of you want to go for the gold or have big ambitions, but because either you've failed in the past or you've seen like past generations, I don't know, some of you might have like a parental or guardian thing going on here where you've seen them try something and fail, or it is a generational thing where even if you didn't see your own parents do it, it's somewhere existing in your generational line, because I'm getting like fourth house vibes of, you know, this has happened before, like this is something that you need to heal in your ancestor line. But this is something that like maybe you're afraid to jump into something. You're afraid to jump into something and act on these ideas. But the thing is, the Knight of Pentacles is an amazing combination with the Page of Swords. This is literally saying that, you know, the land is fertile. I mean, like, and it's almost like with the Knight of Pentacles, it's almost like if you try everything, you're bound to find out what sticks. So that being said, you also have the Hierophant and the Nine of Swords here. Now, the Hierophant almost says, like, it talks about tradition, discipline, structure. It talks about religion and philosophy. But what's being channeled through here, especially with the Nine of Swords being about fears, it almost seems like you're afraid to put structure to something that may fail. I'm hearing like there's no hope. There's no hope. And the Hierophant, when it falls under religion, religion gives a lot of people faith and hope. As much as I quip about organized religion, you know, to each their own, I do feel like the Hierophant can be a symbol of hope. And it's, again, I don't know, like, there is hope, Gemini. Like, it's almost like this reading doesn't, like, it almost feels like the energy that I'm connecting with is almost like there is no hope. And it's a lot of the fears, it's a lot of the doubts, it's a lot of, there are certain things coming up, and again, this roots in experience. There's something about something that I experienced before, something that I witnessed in someone else before, and can I just say that, like, if this is something that has happened to you before, you are a different person now, and if you're comparing yourself to somebody else that has failed, I'm getting actually that you're more talented, I guess. Like, so they're actually saying that, and I was like, that sounds a little rude, but it almost seems like you know more of what you're doing because you've seen what not to do. So now you know basically the pitfalls, so you're not basically following the same steps as this other person. Now, I do feel like we try things and we fail, and sometimes external things happen in life, and that's understandable, but it's almost like spirits, like, we want you to explore. The Knight of Pentacles, any knight in any suit, is all about exploration. They want you to explore. They want you to try new things. It's almost like I'm getting somebody who's resistant to grow peppers in their garden because they're like, well, I don't want my fingers to scald or get burned because I've seen my parents get scalded by, you know, by peppers, you know, trying to pick them in the garden. But you know to wear gloves. You know they should have been wearing gloves at the time too. They didn't wear gloves. So it's almost like that's the, I don't actually know what it's like planting peppers, y'all. That's just what's coming to mind. So it does feel like you know the precautions to put in place. You know, almost like almost like, I don't know, I can't help but feel like you're using common sense. Like, I feel like you have more information than the past did. That's just the energy that's coming through. Like, they're literally like speaking to me like through like my clair audience, and they're saying the exact phrase, like, you have more, okay, well, I lost it. Whatever I just said before, that was like a straight clairaudient thing. Um, sometimes when you channel, it goes in one ear and out the other. Oh, sorry, you have more information than the past did. That was it. You have more information than the past did. So, however that applies to you in whatever way you see fit, we're going to dive into your oracle cards now, and then we'll actually revisit the tarot to see the outcome of the situation. We're going to get into any extra messages, any blessings, unexpected things, anything that we can grow from. Like, let's see what we got. You have Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. So I was kind of getting this again. That Knight of Pentacles is really screaming as the focal point of the reading. It does feel almost lucky, or like that. Like, it's almost like luck is on your side. You will be getting better results, either from the information that you have or your perseverance like through this. But it's almost like you're staying protected throughout it all, and it's stuff that you put into place. You are staying protected because you know the lay of the land, or you've studied the way of the land to the point where you're like, I can keep myself protected. I'm as good as anything now. I'm as good as anybody who has started up this thing or have started this thing and succeeded. You're in a position, the Knight of Pentacles goes into learn. Okay, that's a big Pentacles thing too, is learning and growing from things, and especially when we're creating things in the material. So with now being a lucky time, I really do feel like whatever leap of faith that you do, like, is going to work out. Like, it's almost like you will get lucky opportunities. I'm hearing like you will be successful with it. But I'm hearing some of you might I don't know how big of a thing this is for you. Some of you might start it and find that it's actually not what you want to do. Because I see for a lot of you, I'm seeing different trajectories. So like for some of you, it might be like a small time hobby. Like, oh yeah, like I want to do this project. And not small time, but I'm talking like in the grand scheme of things, something like gardening. Like, it might not be the main thing that you do for the rest of your life. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be like, it's not my purpose in life to, grow things. So I'm not specifically talking about purpose. For some of you, it is your purpose. And I'm hearing like sheer willpower on your part gets you through it. But I don't see, like, literally you are your biggest challenge here. Like with your fear, it's almost like you have the skills and the talents. I feel you being like the strongest armored knight going into the battlefield, if that makes sense. Like, you are way over prepared. Like, you know what you're doing. So just trust yourself. Just trust yourself. Like, even if you fail, like, for whatever reason, that perseverance, like, you only fail when you stop trying completely. So if something doesn't work out the first time, you could still choose to continue. You could still choose to take another opportunity. And Rabbit Spirit will provide abundance. It will provide plenty. It will provide lots of synchronistic moments where you can follow up, because Spirit wants you to try new things. They're not working against you here. They want you to experience life, to grow. They want to give you the things that you want. So try to work with Spirit a little bit on that, and trust that those synchronistic things, those signs from heaven, different, like, if you see repeating numbers, if you see symbols or signs along the way, if you see I don't know, this is one of those things where, like, if you're visited by loved ones too, especially, like, if you see something, somebody connected with me once and told me of an experience they had with, like, a sign that they saw, and it was like the last name of their relative with like their favorite color outlined around it, and right as they were thinking about them. Right as they were thinking about him, they turned and looked at the sign and they were like, oh gosh. And that was a sign or synchronicity that loved one was sending to them to show, hey, I'm here. I'm supporting you. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're trying to do, like, I'm ready to move things along. I'm ready to get, like, things are in place. And that's kind of the types of things you have to look out for if you have loved ones on the other side. Make sure you're tuning in and, try to look around for signs, or even ask for signs. Just general signs from the universe saying they're on your side. So I'm getting some connections with loved ones, and I'm also getting, for a lot of you, it's spirit guide connections. So if you've been doing meditations, or if you've been trying your best to, it's almost like you're looking, it's like you're working with your guides for answers. Or if you're working with your guides to try to get clarity on certain things. Some of you are actively working with your guides in that respect. Let's see if we have more messages through Oracle. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. This does not necessarily mean you have to be a woman to embrace this card. This does talk more of a feminine energy. We all hold masculine and feminine energy, but when it comes to this card in particular, it basically says you are a highly intuitive person and meant to be a teacher. This doesn't not necessarily mean like a teacher in your field. This doesn't mean that you have to go into like the full-on education, teaching children or teaching at like, I don't know, with tenure as a professor or something like, but this quite literally means that you teach others how to, it's like you're spreading your joy teaches other people how to do the same. And whatever this means to you, I feel like this is the card that, you know, comes up when you are highly intuitive. And I'm hearing like mentioning greatness. I don't know, like the phrase mentioning greatness, but it's coming through with the context of you have been given signs from the universe before saying that you were great, or that you had like, you were like a healer or a light worker or like some type of powerful intuitive. And it's almost like you took this knowledge and put it in the back of your mind, but I don't know if some of you fully believe that yet. This is your confirmation. Hello, spirits, like hello. I'm hearing like give me more details. But it's different for a lot of you, and it's almost like stay devoted, because this is beauty and devotion. So stay devoted to that inner teacher. Stay devoted to that inner wisdom that you have. Because spirit had once upon a time, through some means or another, maybe you didn't like receive a dream or like direct insights from your guides, like them telling you to your face, but through other people they have told you that you were great or that you were a healer of some sort. And I feel like some of you aren't taking that as seriously as you could be, because you have a lot of this power. It's almost like that you're doubting, especially with the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Swords here. There's just a lot of doubt and fear around it, but it's almost like you're entering a time now, you're entering a season where you recognize that greatness, but it's going to be through this exploring other avenues and seeing just how lucky you are with the rabbit spirit that you will start to recognize this over time. I do believe that's like a lifelong lesson for you, or that's something that you will slowly learn. I'm getting like, for a lot of you, depending on how old you are, like for whatever reason, I'm getting like 30s, 40s, like midway through life. I feel like some of you are already approaching that point where you start recognizing how powerfully intuitive you are and how much manifestation power you actually have. And you're like, holy crap, I've been sitting on this for like ever, right? And for others, it'll come later. But let's see. You also have learning experience. So this card literally says just that. Spirit wants you to learn. Spirit wants you to grow, and they want to give you the things that you want. And that being said, just understand that it might not work out the way that you expect, but it could lead to something even more beautiful. So it's a learning experience, whatever this is that you're about to go through. I do think that the main learning experience that is coming with this, again, is just facing yourself. I don't think there's a lot of external things pushing you. I think you're fearing a lot of external things coming from the outside and pushing you, but if they are viewed as obstacles, I don't see them as truly being obstacles that will stop you or hinder your progress in any way. And if they would, even so slightly, it doesn't feel like you are someone that's going to be fazed by it, but it's almost like that fear itself is stopping you from even trying. So just keep note of that. You also have, for your last oracle card, Spider. Oh gosh, Spider. Oh my gosh, I can tell you right now, I'm going to pull the book on these ones because it's been a while since I've used this deck, but spiders are literally like weaving the webs of their dreams and allowing it to come true. So let me find here the Animal Spirit Guidebook by Kim Krans, and then we're going to open up the book to Spider, and then we'll read what is going on here. Fire. That's a ground creature, I think. Give me a second, let me find it. Milo. Miloshki. Oh, here we go. So, creator of prosperity through life's work, Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tries nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. When in balance, the spider is appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous. When out of balance, it's discouraged, tired, and forlorn. To bring into balance, playful creativity. So this is all about the exploration. This falls exactly in line. Again, that Nine of Pentacles, just intuitively, what I'm channeling is that it is just hardcore magnified in your reading. And that's exactly what this spider is talking about. So not focusing on the results, but focusing on the process itself. That in itself is a learning experience. And it's almost like you are relearning. I say relearning because I feel like this was something like an issue in a past life that you had to face. But it's almost like, you know, you are learning how to kind of face the process and not doom yourself before you even give yourself a chance, right? So let's look into the outcome of the situation, or let's look at some other factors at play. So this is a very joyous time. You have the Three of Cups. These are all very positive cards that I just pulled, by the way. The Three of Cups is very celebratory. This is like, it's a time to celebrate, be happy, express joy. I'm just seeing a lot of dancing in the sun. I'm getting a lot of gardening imagery for you guys. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you are gardening, but it does feel like it's falling very synchronistically with this. So if you are somebody that comes alive during the spring or summertime, or like in the warm months, perhaps you are entering a time where it's becoming warm months and you're like, oh my gosh, like I am thriving. Like I am a bear. I sleep in the winter. That is like, you expect me to do shit in the winter? Honey, no thanks. I sleep the whole winter and I come alive when spring comes around. And that's kind of the energy that I feel connected with. It's almost like, oh, the sun is alive, the sun is out, now I am out. Like, it feels very much like this is a celebratory, joyous time. I can't help but feel like a lot of good things are happening. Like, you might notice this bleed over into other parts of your life where, like, good things are happening. I don't know, like, I'm hearing, like, some people in your life might be getting married, or, like, there might be some type of unions taking place. It's almost like people are celebrating, like, birthdays. I am getting more of, like, oh, we plan to have it in the summer. So, like, I am getting big marriage vibes for some of you, like in terms of like people that you know, like attending their weddings and stuff. Some of you might actually be getting married too. But it's like, I don't know, it's like certain things are just like other people are bringing joy to this, because the Three is always collaborative no matter what suit that you're in. So the Three is a very collaborative energy. So it's celebrating, it's being happy and joyful, it's celebrating with others. You also have the Six of Wands, so taking the lead. Taking the lead, it's almost like Spirit says, you lead, we'll follow. So whatever you want to try, wherever you want to throw your seed with this Nine of Pentacles, wherever you want to throw all of your seeds and see what grows, we will follow, and we will, again, it's almost like they want to give you opportunities to make something work. It's almost like I also am feeling into energies where people want to do multiple things and they're like, oh gosh, well, what do I do first? Spirit's like, okay, well, whatever you want to do. You could do one, you could do two, you can go, like, it's almost like some of you might need to focus a little bit on like one or two particular things. I say, why not do it all? That's a me thing. That's not a channel thing, because I think Spirit does say like, okay, well, like, where do you want to put your energy towards? But if you are somebody that likes to put a lot of pots on different burners, I say, why not? Go for it. If you want to live, do it. Just don't stress yourself out, you know? Like, life is meant to be lived. I don't think we have to do one particular thing, right? And I think we're meant to do more than one thing, you know, especially if you have the energy. And I'm hearing Spirit saying, and you have a right to do so. So that being said, we're going to the Ten of Pentacles now. So again, you lead, we'll follow. They're trying to support whatever decision you make. There is no right or wrong here. The Ten of Pentacles is about abundance. So the Ten of Pentacles being like financially, or having all of the resources. Some of you might be entering a financially fruitful time. But this is almost something that you foresee. It's like you are expecting to get like money coming in from somewhere, right? Or it's like, I'm getting, for some of you, I'm actually hearing the words laid off. So if there is like a threat of being laid off, or you have been laid off, this is energy you would be connecting with right now. If there is like a threat or something, it's almost like a better opportunity comes in, and it almost feels like there might be disappointment in being laid off, but then like, and it might feel like it tries to swallow you whole, but there is another opportunity around the corner that can really, it's meant to push you, and it's meant to be kind of like a rebirthing process. This is like for a very small section of you, but it's meant to be a rebirthing process that kind of like puts you through this transformation that gets you another thing. It's like you're like, I don't know if it's like in a desperation or if it's in a last ditch attempt, but it's almost like you're fighting for something, either another job or like a higher position or something, but then you end up getting it, and then you end up getting paid more than you did before, and it actually ends up being a celebratory time. Very small message for some of you, or it's like a very like distinct message for like a small portion of you. But it does feel like overall, like you would be stepping into a place of like a really happy space, a really joyful space. It just feels really abundant. So if not financially abundant, it definitely feels like resourcefully abundant. Like Ten of Pentacles is about having it all in the material, having the family, the house, like, you know, not necessarily like the house, the car, like we don't have to get like at like material like that, but it's almost like feeling abundance in many different forms coming in. And that would just magnify our celebrations even more and add to our confidence to lead and then having spirit follow. I'm going to roll the dice for you, Gemini, and see what else is going on here. We have 145. I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. If I can find my book underneath all of my blankets back here because it's chilly. We're going to 145. I always read these messages twice. Archangels are inviting you to open up and reclaim your gifts in order to receive their messages. One more time, archangels are inviting you to open up and reclaim your gifts in order to receive their messages. So that being said, that is a time, like especially some of you I'm getting are transitionary, like you're in a transition time. This would be the perfect time to fall back and get into that Four of Swords moment, figure out how you want to step up for yourself and move forward. That's where you connect with the archangels either in meditation or you just get some rest. Some of you might just need some sleep. Just to get those intuitive downloads. You don't need to necessarily know what's happening. Sometimes this is why people say that when they're in the shower or when they're like resting through sleep, they wake up with a completely different energy. And that would be when intuitive downloads happen. They happen in our sleep all of the time. And it's because they want to push us. They want to help us, help promote us towards change so that we can manifest the life that we want. So that being said, archangels are waiting for you for messages, you know, to give you messages. So whichever angels you connect with, definitely call on them during like a meditation or guided meditation. I do archangel readings on this channel. I just had one for Archangel Raphael, Archangel Orion, and I have one for Archangel Azrael coming up here shortly. So that being said, I hope this helped. That was your reading. If this resonated with you in any way, like and subscribe, all the things, keep up to date with what I'm doing. If you wanted to learn tarot, go check out my Instagram. I will be posting about each individual card. I also post dailies, not every single day, but I like interpret my own cards. So you can figure out how, like different ways you can apply your own tarot. That being said, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.